I have a breakfast sandwich here. It's scrambled eggs with the sweet baby peppers, onions, garlic, and 2 scrambled eggs. So for 6 points for that sandwich. Got my water and still working on coffee. And that is the breakfast that we're having this morning. Okay guys, I am having lunch. I've been out planting. I'll bring you out there and show you all that in just a minute. I'm trying something a little bit new, so we'll see how the plants survive. I had a really good year last year and I pretty much copied but added a few more things. So we'll see how that works out. But I'm having a boca burger, as you can see, onion, sweet pepper, the little tiny ones. Those have a lot more flavor than the bigger ones do, so I like those ones. Lettuce, spinach, and a slice of Velveeta cheese. So far, with the boca burger, this will be 4 smart points. And then I'm having a strawberry cheesecake right now because I gotta wait for my boca burger and I'm hungry. It's after 1, just shortly after 1, but nonetheless I'm hungry. I tend to forget to come in and eat when I'm doing something outside because I really get involved in it and I want to get it done. So I looked at the clock and I'm like, oh man, I better go in for lunch because I was getting hungry. And when I get hungry, I tend to overeat a lot. And I usually do that at nighttime. So instead of not eating all day, I always make sure I eat a little bit throughout the day, always now. And that really helps not eat at night because I don't like eating late at night. So that is lunch for today. And my husband's bringing me a doppio espresso, so I will have that for a snack. He'll probably be home about 2. He ran and got some more gardening stuff that I was running out of. So, which is why I'm taking a break and having my lunch right now. And I'll make his when he gets home. And he's going to have one of the burritos. So that is it for lunch, guys. There it is, guys. 1 tablespoon of the reduced sugar ketchup. Can't believe I said that right the first time. Boca burger. 4 smart points for that sandwich. I am done with my yogurt. I am going to be eating this. And I probably will have another coffee as well because why not? That is it, guys. We will see you out on the balcony and I'll show you what I've done. Got a doppio espresso here. Got my hubby brat. Having 3 hard-boiled eggs for dinner plus the doppio espresso, and that will be it for dinner tonight. And here is the mess I have so far. We've been using Nature's Care organic raised bed. We are also going to do a raised bed out in the garden this year. I usually don't like to do that because I don't take care of it, but I think I am healthy enough now where I wouldn't mind going out there and taking care of it. So we're going to try 1 bed and see how this year goes. We also got some peat moss, a huge bag, and what I do is I just mix it all up in there. And I add these things to it along with vermiculite. So this bag right here is just a rock dust that we order online. It's supposed to be really good for your plants and it's supposed to be long-term feeding because it is just rocks and it wears down over the season. We got some bone meal, blood meal, worm castings. This is gypsum right there, that little bag. And this is just, that bag right there is just sulfur. So I'm trying a little mixture of all of it. And then of course I have the Dr. Earth. Let me turn around. I have the Dr. Earth homegrown organic fertilizer. And that is pretty much all I use. Oh, and Epsom salt. And here I've got my gardening stuff. I use Epsom salt there. And I mix all of the soil up. There's a plant over there, a plant there. And then these are what I have left to plant yet. I've got my basil planted over there, right there. And I've got this stuff too. This stuff, I am waiting until later to use it though. I mainly got that for, it's a nitrogen mix. And I'm going to give my tomatoes just a boost of energy every once in a while because they need nitrogen, a lot of nitrogen to get started. I also use this once in a while. I'm trying out the Dr. Earth formula right now, but I have used this. This works awesome too. So this hasn't been opened yet, so I'm going to be using that after I'm done with, that bag's almost gone. So, because I've been adding it into the soil. And let me show you the 2 over here, and I'll show you it I'll show you these. Yeah, my balcony is a complete mess. I have swept some of it off already, but this right here is a big boy, I believe. Yeah, that's the big boy tomato. So it's, you can see where it is in regards to this thing. It's shorter than that. And then I got the little baby. This is, I think, a Brandywine Cherokee Purple. It's an heirloom tomato. And that is just a little tiny guy, as you can see with my finger. It goes up to my first knuckle right here. So it's really tiny. And I'll show you that in a few weeks. This pot, I'm putting 2 of the Sweet 100s. 2 plants did great for us last year in there. Usually I just put 1. The 2 Sweet 100s are indeterminate, so they should be okay in there. They're, of course they produce all year long, so we'll see. But I had 2 indeterminates in there last year and they did just fine. So I'm going to do that again this year, and those are what is going in next. I'll bring my tripod out here so you can see me mix one of these containers. These are 5-gallon buckets, and that's what we're going to plant most of our plants in, because guys, they're only $1 something, and those containers right there, they're like $11. So they're close to the same size. So I'm just using those this year and see how it works. If they don't get enough room, and my husband did drill holes in all of them, like you can see the holes. He drilled holes all on the bottom. And we're just going to get some plates to set them on so they don't ruin the deck. But he drilled holes all along the outside. If we need more holes, we'll do that. But for now, that's what he did. I don't. Most of you might know this already, but we've got the pepper plants here. I've got 4 of them. And on the pepper plants, these were nice and, way up here, bushy, and already starting to flower and make some fruit. We chopped them down all the way down to here. You can see I cut them all off. And now right through here you can see brand new growth starting there. So you can kind of see those little nubs coming out there. All brand new growth, same as that one right there. And those, just a day, 1 day is all that took to show up after I cut the tips of these off. So, and now they'll get nice and bushy out this way, which is rather, I'd rather have that than tall and lanky. And you can do the same thing for basil. You can cut this basil plant off way down here and it'll start getting bushy. So I'm going to be clipping this off. I'll use these basil leaves in spaghetti or something, or I'll freeze them. I usually just grind them up in my little tiny food processor, add a little bit of oil, like maybe a teaspoon of oil for a bunch of leaves, mix it all up, put it in some ice cube trays, freeze them, and then put them in baggies, and you can use them all winter. So that's what we do. And boy, is that ever smelly. I don't know where my, this is called cardinal basil. So we have not tried that. They're not the real big leaves. They're the smaller leaves, so we'll try that out and see. And if you ever see flowers coming, make sure you pick them off, pinch them right off. Otherwise your plant will go to seed, and then you won't get any more basil leaves. And then I got my herbs up here. I got thyme, rosemary, more tomato plants, cilantro, of course. I have to have lots of cilantro. I'll probably end up getting another pot of it. This is the Ace sweet pepper. I did the same thing. You can see all these little shoots coming out here, if it's going to focus, all through here. I've got brand new shoots coming out all over. And I chopped that whole plant off like not even a week ago. So this is another pepper plant, and I have not chopped this off yet because it doesn't have enough leaves yet. So I'm going to let it grow a little bit longer, and then I'll chop that one off as well. We got some zucchini black beauties here, and then I just got a flower pot planted there. But otherwise, that will be it. We plan on getting some bush beans yet, and I'm going to plant some watermelon out in the garden this year. And that's about it, unless we find something else interesting. So we will talk to you guys soon. Okay, what I'm doing here is I'm just dumping in a bunch of this, maybe a quarter way full, like maybe right to that line there. And then I'm going to dump in the same amount of peat moss, and I'm going to mix this all up. And I'll bring you back and show you that. But you can see how, this dirt is really, it's real heavy, so you got to lighten that up because tomatoes like really light soil. Okay, I have that all mixed up. Looks a lot like just the peat moss, but it's a 50-50 mixture, and it's very light. Like if you squeeze this together, there's no, you don't want it to clump together. So that is that, and I'll show you all the junk I put in it. This is a 1/2 cup measuring cup. So you can see this is Epsom salt, and you can see it's about maybe 1/3 of a cup, a little more than 1/4. I just pour that in. Blood meal, I put 1 cup of that in. Not quite a cup, maybe. If I'm doing the big containers I would, but this is going to go in this container here, so that much less than a cup, plus 1 full one of these. So I'm going to say 3/4 of a cup of that. And this is bone meal, not quite a 1/2 cup, pretty close though. If you were doing a bigger mixture, then do a full 1/2 cup. Worm castings, definitely a full 1/2 cup of that. Dr. Earth or organic fertilizer, and this is supposed to be about 1/4 cup for that size container. Gypsum, not quite a 1/2 cup of that, pretty close. And then this is the soil acidifier, and maybe 1/4 cup of that. And then on the rock salt, you want definitely a heaping, 1/2 cup of that. And that is it, guys. You just take your spoon and mix it all up in there. And then after I get this mixed up really well, I usually add more, soil up to here, and then peat moss up to here, 1/2 and 1/2, 50-50. And then I mix that top part up and try not to get too much of the bottom mixed up, just a little bit. And then I just dump it into the new pot, and all of the goodness stays more on the top half where they are going to use it when they're seedlings more, when they're little. And then I will keep adding fertilizer as every 2 weeks or so, 3 weeks, mixed in with the water, or just sprinkling it on top, and just watering it in. So I'll bring you back after I get this all mixed up. Okay, that is all mixed up, and I'm going to add the other soil and the peat moss. Then you just mix this all up with your hands, break up all the clumps. And this is all organic. Like I said, you can dig down a little and get some of all of that additives you've added. But otherwise, that is it, guys. This is what you're going to plant your stuff in. I'm going to dump this into here, and you can see how many holes he's drilled. And then up the side about 6 inches or so, all the way around. So hopefully this is enough. The last time we did this, it wasn't quite enough, and it would get jammed up and it just wouldn't drain. And what I'm doing is just dumping it into this bucket with the holes, and all that good stuff will be on top ready for the plants. You just give it a little bit of a mix. And we're not going to pack it at all because tomatoes do not like to be packed. Okay guys, this is a pink brandy wine. This looks really, really nice. The root system is huge. So we're going to plant this as far down as we can. And we're just going to cover it up. Now what we want to do is take off the very bottom leaves, because you don't want anything touching the soil or you're going to get some bad diseases. So we just took off the bottom couple. There's plenty of leaves here. As this grows, I'm going to continue to take off any new sprouts that come up. Take off the suckers right here on the indeterminate only. Leave if you're growing regular tomatoes, just leave these on there, but these are suckers and they're just forming new plants and they take all the energy from your fruit and stuff. So you want to pick all those off. It's just in the crook of, like in the little armpit thing, and take all those off and you're good. And I will give this maybe a good half a gallon of water. Usually you like to water them from the bottom. I do my first initial watering over the top to make sure all the soil gets good and wet. And later on, as this gets bigger too, I'm going to keep adding soil until it's up to the top. But for now, we'll leave it just like this. And it's ready to go. I'm going to throw about a half gallon of water in there. So, and I don't know if I'll show you more, like the suckers grow in between these little armpits. I don't know if you've seen that or not, but yeah, I'll show you on a different plant if I can find one. I went ahead and pulled off the bottom ones too, because it's got plenty of leaves up here to keep the energy going. So, and then these that I clipped off, I just throw them in one of my buckets and I bring it out to the compost pile. Last time I forgot to show you the vermiculite, and I just pour about 4 cups in a 5-gallon bucket, and just this gets mixed in with all of the other stuff I put in. Okay, I planted 2 jalapenos, and this bucket used the same exact mixture of soil. This one I'm not so sure how well it's going to do, because I got it was buy one get one free, so because they were so little and the leaves were dying off. So this one's doing awesome. I'm not so sure how that one's going to do though. I picked off all the dead leaves that I could, and we'll leave it go and see what happens. I gave it a half a gallon of water to start out, and I'm going to check these all tomorrow, make sure they're not dry, and I'm going to stick this in some full sun for a while and see how it does. And this is what these are. They're the jalapeno hot pepper, and it's by Bonnie Plants. So we will stick that right in there so we know what they are later, because I gotta admit, sometimes I forget what I plant where. Okay guys, this little guy, I got him out of the peat moss kind of, and I finished tearing that off, but this little guy needs a lot of help. I'm not sure what's going on with his leaves. I'm almost scared to plant it next to my other one, but you can see they're kind of browning up here a little bit. That kind of scares me, that it might have blight or something. So I'm going to just prune him up. You see he's starting to even come in the better leaves here. I might stick this one in a bucket by itself. Gosh, I don't know. Because I was going to stick them in with the other. Let me go get the other. I'm hoping you guys don't fall on the ground, because my camera will shatter probably. And I have you up on the balcony and I'm holding on to it at the same time. There. This one looks a lot healthier. Let me move this one back. It does have a little bit of browning down here, but not near as bad. Gosh. I think I might do that. I might plant this one outside in a bucket, just down there, just to see how it goes. And I'll get another one to plant side by side with this one, a healthier looking. This one needs trimming up too. These are both indeterminate, so they are non-stop growers. So we're just going to pick off the very bottom leaves that would touch the soil, because that's how they get diseases, and there's a lot of leaves down there. And I'm going to pick off this one. And this one. And that one. And I'm going to go ahead and pick off these as well. So we're left with this. This will be plenty to get it started. And as you can see, there's a sucker right there in the middle of the, I don't know if you can see that right there, if it's focusing. I think you could probably see that. And that little guy is going to go too. Can't even hardly barely get a hold of it, but it went. So that is what that one ended up looking like, just with a few. You need to save at least 3 or 4 of these little branches so the sun can bring energy to the plant. This one I'm just going to go ahead and tear it right down and get all of those nasty branches off. And those ones too, we're not going to put in the compost pile because the spores can transfer to other plants, and so we're just not going to put those there. We'll just keep the better ones there. And that looks like it's good. I'm going to take off the suckers right here. And just clip off that bad leaf there. But that one looks okay now. But I'm still going to transplant it down in the garden in a bucket all by itself, just to see what it does. And it'll get a lot of sun down there. And we'll just check it out later and see. But for now, I'm just going to plant this guy all by its lonesome. And they come in these little cups here. And I should have looked at that plant better when I purchased it. Because I didn't grow my own this year. I purchased them because I was being lazy. And I just wanted to get it planted. So, and you got to tear off all of this stuff. I mean, they say you can plant them, but as you can see, they're getting mildewy. And I just tear the whole works off and just throw it in the garbage. And this is what I'm left with, and I try to get as much of the soil that it was planted in out of there and use my own soil. My husband just got home. Okay, I'm going to plant this little guy and I will show you what's next. And he got some more cages, got some more, he got perlite this time instead of vermiculite, and he got some more gypsum for me and some just the round things that the pots sit on to drain plate drain thing holder things. These are the little plate things I was talking about, the drain holder things. I also had him pick up some lime. This is in case we need to do like an emergency treatment for if my tomato plants need some fast calcium. So we got some of that. That is for our garden beds. I'll take you outside tomorrow and show you that. We did get the garden beds done amazingly. So, and I'm going to try out the seed tape for lettuce. So that looks pretty interesting. Let me take you out in the balcony. It's dark and there's June bugs, so I might freak out a little bit. So if I do, that'll be fun. Okay, it's not very bright out here. My cat got outside too earlier because Nick didn't close the door very good, so we might hear a cat out here somewhere. But anyway, I got some more plants. We got some Brussels sprouts and some cabbages, sweet potato vines, and this is a really cool plant, guys. I thought that was the coolest thing ever. It has like pinks and greens and whites and purples, and it's beautiful. And I guess the leaves get like 10 inches long. So, and it's called the Kong Mosaic. I don't know if you can see that, but yeah, it's called the Kong Mosaic. So I can't wait to see what that becomes. What else did I get here? Oh, I got more Black Beauty zucchini, and we got some Sugar Baby watermelon,
That should be fun. And then I got this fun plant. It does twisties. No, that's, yeah, well, it kind of does. But this is called the Rex begonia. So that's like a begonia. And I think the flowers are self-cleaning, so you don't have to deadhead them, which is very nice. Oh, Nick put all those down. You can't see them. You've seen these earlier, though. Let's see. What else did I bring up here? Those you've seen earlier as well. I think I showed you the cages already. Oh, we got some gypsum. Pelletized gypsum. That we got. And I think that's... Oh, we got some stringless green pod beans as well. These are bush beans. So we're gonna try those, and we're gonna plant those. Oh, I gotta soak these tonight. So I'm glad I came out here. But yeah, oh, we got some garlic chives as well. Those are so good, you guys. Oh my gosh, we were eating them. I couldn't stop eating them. They were so good. Just like that basil plant right there. It tastes like licorice. It really does. And it is delicious. Just delicious. So I'm just going to move that away from the patio because we might get a little more rain. And I'm going to move these back a little bit. Let me know if you guys want to see more gardening stuff. If not, I won't do any more. But if you're interested in that, I will maybe do a few videos and just have them separate. But like on this video, I'll do all my food in the beginning, so those who don't want to watch the gardening can just stop right after the food is done. So that is all I have to say for now, and I will see you guys. Yeah, let me know in the comments below if you like the gardening videos. I will bring you along this summer on our project, and I will show you how everything grows. I'm going to close up the vlog, and I will bring you back tomorrow and show you some extra things, and hopefully the patio will be cleaned up. So I will see you guys all tomorrow morning, and thank you for watching. Bye bye.